Top 25 GRC Interview Questions and Answers. In the world of governance, risk, and compliance, GRC, having a solid grasp of key concepts is essential for success in any interview. This video will guide you through the top 25 questions that often arise in GRC discussions. You will find detailed answers that will help you prepare effectively and confidently. Whether you are a newcomer or an experienced professional, this video aims to enhance your understanding and readiness for GRC-related interviews. 1. What is meant by GRC and why is it important? Governance, risk, and compliance, GRC, refers to an integrated approach that organizations use to manage and align their governance, risk management, and regulatory compliance activities. GRC is important because it helps organizations ensure that they are operating within legal and ethical boundaries while effectively managing risks that could impact their objectives. By establishing a GRC framework, organizations can enhance decision-making processes, improve operational efficiency, and build a culture of accountability. This proactive approach facilitates better resource allocation and minimizes potential financial and reputational damage. 2. What are the key components of governance, risk, and compliance? The key components of governance, risk, and compliance, GRC, include governance frameworks that establish organizational policies and procedures, risk management processes that identify, assess, and mitigate risks, and compliance management that ensures adherence to laws, regulations, and internal standards. Effective GRC requires alignment of strategies and objectives, integration of risk assessment into decision-making, and continuous monitoring of compliance efforts. Strong communication across departments fosters a culture of accountability and supports meeting regulatory requirements while achieving business goals. 3. Explain the GRC lifecycle and process. The GRC lifecycle encompasses a continuous process that organizations follow to manage governance, risk, and compliance effectively. It begins with planning, where goals and regulatory requirements are identified. Next is assessment, which involves evaluating risks and compliance gaps. The implementation phase follows, where strategies and controls are put in place. Continuous monitoring is essential for tracking the effectiveness of these strategies and identifying any new risks. Finally, the reporting stage ensures stakeholders are informed about the organization's GRC posture, allowing for informed decision-making. Regular review and feedback loops enhance the lifecycle for ongoing improvement. 4. Differentiate between a risk assessment and a risk analysis. A risk assessment involves identifying, evaluating, and prioritizing risks associated with an organization's operations, projects, or processes. This process often includes determining the likelihood of risks occurring and the impact they may have. Conversely, risk analysis focuses more on quantifying the risks identified during the assessment. It involves analyzing data to understand the nature of the risks, their possible consequences, and the effectiveness of existing controls. While risk assessment provides a broad overview, risk analysis delves deeper into specific risks for better decision-making. 5. What is the role of internal audit in GRC? The role of internal audit in GRC involves evaluating and improving the effectiveness of governance, risk management, and compliance processes. Internal auditors assess the alignment of organizational objectives with risk management strategies, ensuring that controls are adequate and functioning as intended. They identify gaps in compliance with regulations and internal policies, providing recommendations for improvement. Additionally, internal audits facilitate communication between departments, fostering a culture of accountability and transparency while helping management make informed decisions based on their findings. 6. What are the main risk mitigation strategies? Risk mitigation strategies typically include risk avoidance, risk reduction, risk transfer, and risk acceptance. Risk avoidance involves changing plans to sidestep potential risks entirely. Risk reduction focuses on minimizing the impact or likelihood of risks through proactive measures, such as implementing security controls or training programs. Risk transfer involves shifting the risk to a third party, often through insurance or outsourcing. Risk acceptance is acknowledging the risk and deciding to proceed because the cost of mitigation may outweigh the risk itself. Each strategy requires careful evaluation of the specific risk context. 7. Which compliance frameworks are you familiar with? GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, ISO 27001, PCI DSS. Compliance frameworks serve as structured guidelines and standards for organizations to ensure adherence to legal and regulatory requirements. Familiarity with these frameworks is crucial in GRC. GDPR focuses on data protection and privacy in the European Union, emphasizing individual rights regarding personal data. HIPAA sets standards for protecting sensitive patient health information in the U.S. SOX mandates stringent financial reporting and corporate governance requirements for U.S. public companies. ISO 27001 provides a systematic approach to managing sensitive information securely, while PCI DSS ensures secure handling of card payment information. Understanding each framework helps organizations implement effective compliance strategies tailored to specific regulatory needs. 8. What is the difference between a policy and a procedure? A policy is a formal statement that outlines an organization's principles, rules, and guidelines regarding specific issues or behaviors. It serves as a framework for decision-making and sets expectations for compliance and conduct. On the other hand, a procedure details the specific steps or processes required to implement a policy effectively. Procedures provide the how-to aspect and guide employees on executing tasks aligned with the policy. While policies provide direction and intent, procedures offer practical instructions, ensuring consistency and clarity in operations. Both are essential for effective governance. 9. How do GRC tools help manage risks and compliance? GRC tools streamline the integration of governance, risk management, and compliance processes. They provide centralized platforms for tracking regulations and assessing risks, which enhances visibility across the organization. Automation features allow for real-time monitoring of compliance status, reducing manual efforts and errors. Additionally, these tools facilitate reporting and analytics, enabling organizations to make informed decisions based on data-driven insights. By integrating risk management practices into daily operations, GRC tools promote a proactive approach, ensuring organizations remain compliant while effectively managing risks. 10. What is a risk heat map and why is it useful? A risk heat map is a visual representation that displays the levels of risk within an organization based on the likelihood of occurrence and the impact of potential events. This tool categorizes risks using color codes, often ranging from green, low risk, to red, high risk, allowing stakeholders to quickly identify which risks require immediate attention or mitigation strategies. Risk heat maps facilitate communication among team members and management, making it easier to prioritize risk management efforts and allocate resources effectively, ultimately enhancing decision-making processes. 11. Define risk management as it relates to GRC. Risk management in the context of governance, risk, and compliance, GRC, involves identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks to ensure that an organization meets its objectives while adhering to regulatory requirements. It integrates risk assessment processes into governance frameworks and compliance initiatives, ensuring a systematic approach to managing potential threats. Effective risk management enables organizations to make informed decisions, allocate resources wisely, and create a culture of risk awareness. This proactive stance not only protects assets but also enhances organizational resilience against unexpected challenges. 12. What is a risk register and its significance? A risk register is a document that captures all identified risks within an organization, including their descriptions, assessments, mitigation strategies, and status updates. It serves as a central repository for risk information, enabling organizations to track risks over time. The significance of a risk register lies in its ability to facilitate informed decision-making, enhance communication among stakeholders, and support compliance efforts. By regularly updating the register, organizations can maintain visibility of potential threats, prioritize resource allocation, and ensure that risk management practices are effective and proactive. 13. Explain the difference between inherent risk and residual risk. Inherent risk refers to the level of risk that exists in the absence of any controls or mitigations. This type of risk is a natural part of a process or activity, determined by the environment and context in which it operates. On the other hand, residual risk is the risk that remains after controls and mitigations have been implemented. It reflects the effectiveness of the risk management strategies employed. Organizations must assess both types of risk to understand their risk landscape and ensure that they effectively manage exposure while implementing appropriate controls. 14. What are key risk indicators? KRIs. Key risk indicators, KRIs, are metrics used by organizations to provide an early warning of potential risks that could impact their objectives. KRIs help in tracking the likelihood of risk events occurring and assessing their potential impact. By monitoring these indicators, organizations can proactively manage risks and make informed decisions. Effective KRIs are specific, measurable, and relevant to the organization's risk appetite. They can include financial metrics, operational performance indicators, or compliance-related measures, allowing organizations to respond swiftly to emerging threats or vulnerabilities. 15. How would you define risk appetite within an organization? Risk appetite refers to the amount and type of risk an organization is willing to accept in pursuit of its objectives. This concept helps guide decision-making and strategy by establishing clear thresholds for risk-taking. Organizations often define risk appetite through a combination of qualitative and quantitative measures, considering factors such as financial capacity, operational capabilities, and stakeholder expectations. Establishing a clear risk appetite enables organizations to align their risk management practices with their strategic goals, ensuring that they are prepared to take calculated risks while safeguarding their assets and reputation. 16. What steps are involved in conducting a risk assessment interview? Conducting a risk assessment interview involves several key steps. First, prepare by reviewing relevant documentation and defining the objectives of the interview. Next, schedule the interview with stakeholders, ensuring they understand its purpose. During the interview, ask open-ended questions to encourage detailed responses about potential risks, existing controls, and past incidents. Record the responses accurately for analysis. After the interview, analyze the gathered information to identify risks and prioritize them based on their potential impact. Finally, summarize findings and discuss them with the stakeholders for validation and action planning. 17. What emerging risk trends do you see affecting GRC in 2025? As we approach 2025, several emerging risk trends are poised to impact governance, risk, and compliance, GRC. Cybersecurity risks will continue to escalate, particularly with the rise of remote work and digital transformation. Regulatory changes surrounding data privacy will become more complex, especially with evolving laws like GDPR and CCPA. Environmental, social, and governance, ESG, factors will also gain prominence, with organizations increasingly held accountable for their sustainability practices. Additionally, the integration of artificial intelligence in risk assessment and compliance monitoring may introduce both opportunities and challenges in GRC frameworks. 18. How do you use risk indicators to better manage risk? Risk indicators serve as vital metrics that help organizations monitor their exposure to potential risks. By analyzing these indicators, teams can identify trends or anomalies that could signify emerging risks. Setting thresholds for each indicator allows for timely responses when risks exceed acceptable levels. Regularly reviewing and updating these indicators ensures they remain relevant to the organization's evolving risk landscape. Engaging stakeholders in this process fosters a culture of risk awareness, driving proactive risk management and informed decision-making throughout the organization. 19. What is risk mitigation and how do you apply it? Risk mitigation involves identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks followed by coordinated efforts to minimize, monitor, and control the probability or impact of unfortunate events. To apply risk mitigation, organizations can implement strategies such as risk avoidance, where activities that introduce risk are modified or eliminated. Risk reduction, which involves taking steps to lessen the impact or likelihood of the risk. Risk sharing, where the risk is transferred to another party. And risk acceptance, which involves acknowledging the risk and deciding to proceed without additional measures. Effective communication and continuous monitoring are critical throughout this process. 20. How do you ensure compliance during an audit or compliance interview? To ensure compliance during an audit or compliance interview, start by preparing thoroughly. Gather all relevant documentation, including policies, procedures, and records that demonstrate compliance with applicable regulations. Conduct a pre-audit assessment to identify potential gaps and address them proactively. Train staff on compliance expectations in the audit process, ensuring they understand their roles. During the audit, maintain open communication with auditors, providing clear and concise information. Lastly, be receptive to feedback and ready to implement recommendations to strengthen compliance efforts moving forward. 21. What GRC software, tools have you used and how did they help? I have experience using several GRC tools, including ServiceNow GRC, RSA Archer, and Logic Manager. ServiceNow GRC provided a centralized platform for managing risks, incidents, and compliance tasks, streamlining communication across departments. RSA Archer enabled us to customize risk assessments and compliance workflows, offering robust reporting features that helped visualize our risk landscape. Logic Manager facilitated effective risk management with its intuitive user interface, allowing for easy tracking of KRs and risk mitigation strategies. Each tool enhanced our ability to ensure compliance, improve risk visibility, and foster a culture of accountability within the organization. 22. Describe how ServiceNow GRC supports risk and compliance management. ServiceNow GRC streamlines risk and compliance management through an integrated platform that enhances visibility and collaboration across departments. It automates workflows for risk assessments, audits, and compliance documentation, ensuring real-time updates and easier tracking of compliance tasks. The tool offers a centralized repository for policies and procedures, allowing organizations to standardize processes. By utilizing dashboards and reporting features, ServiceNow GRC provides insights into risk exposure and compliance status, which helps organizations make informed decisions and prioritize risk mitigation efforts effectively. 23. What are the benefits of GRC automation? GRC automation streamlines processes, enhances efficiency, and minimizes human error. With automated workflows, organizations can quickly identify, assess, and respond to risks and compliance requirements. Automation enables real-time monitoring and reporting, providing accurate insights for decision-makers. It also simplifies data gathering and documentation, making compliance audits less burdensome. By integrating various functions, GRC automation fosters collaboration across departments, promoting a unified approach to governance, risk, and compliance. This not only saves time and resources but also strengthens an organization's risk posture and compliance readiness. 24. How is AI being used to improve risk management within GRC? AI technologies are transforming risk management in GRC by enhancing data analysis and predictive capabilities. Machine learning algorithms can identify patterns in historical risk data, allowing organizations to anticipate potential risks before they escalate. AI-driven tools enable automated risk assessments, significantly reducing manual effort and improving accuracy. Additionally, natural language processing helps in analyzing compliance documents, extracting relevant information, and ensuring adherence to regulations. By streamlining these processes, AI not only enhances efficiency but also allows teams to focus on strategic decision-making and proactive risk mitigation. 25. Describe a scenario where you handled a regulatory breach or compliance issue. How did you resolve it? In a previous role, I discovered that sensitive customer data had been improperly accessed due to a misconfiguration in our database settings. Upon identifying the issue, I promptly initiated an internal investigation, collaborating with IT and legal teams. We assessed the extent of the breach and notified affected customers as per GDPR requirements. A corrective action plan was implemented, which included tightening access controls, conducting employee training on data handling, and enhancing monitoring systems. Regular follow-ups were scheduled to ensure compliance and prevent future incidents. In this video, we've explored the top 25 GRC interview questions and answers that will help you prepare for your next interview. By understanding these key concepts and practicing your responses, you can boost your confidence and improve your chances of success in the field of governance, risk, and compliance. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights and resources. Your support helps us create more content to assist you in your career journey.